Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. It's Mondays with Mallory with KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's John Mallory. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Johnny Ballgame and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good morning, Boise State fans. We are literally in the Cutwater Studios for today's edition of Bronco Nation News Live. We are at Stein Distributing, a 1956 family-owned, locally operated business going back 70-plus years. The Anheuser-Busch distributor in the Treasure Valley, surrounding areas, as well as many other products and brands. The sponsor of our studios, and I'm an AB guy, man. St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. I walked in here for our first meeting and saw Clydesdale down in the lobby, and I was already hooked. Love Stein Distributing, love our relationship with them, love Cutwater Spirits. We're going to be telling you all about them. And Johnny, where else can you go where they've got a bar at the office? Pretty incredible spot here where you can hang out and have some Cutwaters. And we bring you live. You got John Mallory, BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News Live, a Wednesday edition. And we're here in the Palace, man, in the bar at Stein Distributing. Pretty cool spot.
It's really impressive. Yeah, this whole building. And I didn't put that two and two together. Yes, you're such an AB guy. St. Louis, Busch Stadium, and all these logos, Clydesdales. I mean, you're used to seeing that as part of your everyday sports-loving life. So that's good for you. You get to be here, BJ. Great facility, good people we got to meet. They geared us up. They're happy. And
yeah, look at this.
We're happy to be here, man. And obviously just a lot flying around there. The Boise State fan, it's like they have more information all hitting them at once right now this time of year, more so than I've probably experienced doing sports radio in this town for a decade or so, or close to it. And it feels like there's just everything coming at you at once. There's so many different layers, so many different topics. And I know a lot of people are paying attention to Bronco Nation News now, as they are with us at KTIK. And it's just a fun time to be a fan and a fun time to be in broadcasting, I think.
Yeah, we got plenty to talk about, football, basketball, but we appreciate Courtney and Daniel and the whole crew here for having us out. Again, we're in the bar area at Stein Distributing. You see some of their newer flavors up here in the front, the Espresso Martini, the Peppermint White Russian, their seasonal flavors. Johnny, they even have you got you an energy drink there. Ghost Energy Drinks, one of the products that they have here as well. So all kinds of products, we'll be telling you about them. And they even brought Johnny breakfast, so he's in a good mood now. You know, they sweet talked you with a nice shirt, as you said. We got the vest on here, so appreciate them again for having us, and looking forward to telling you about Cutwater throughout the show. Johnny, we talked off air, our pre-show meeting. It was long. It was extensive. We said, what's the lead got to be today? Boise State basketball certainly coming off a nice game last night, 11-0 run to finish the game.
Yeah.
And that was pretty impressive, but we'll get to that in a second. I think the lead on this show, looking at the last 24 hours, has to be Ashton Jeanty, his decision to return to Boise State, how that changes the outlook of this team moving forward, how big of a win that is for Spencer Danielson. So again, let us know your favorite Cutwater flavor in the ICCU YouTube chat. We do have some Cutwaters to give away. Actually, they were nice enough to give us some Cutwaters for our bus trip down to Las Vegas. You saw the pictures and things. We've got about a case of that left. And so whoever has the best comment or question today, and if you let us know your favorite flavor of Cutwater, we will pick somebody at the end of the show, and you could win some Cutwaters here from Stein Distributing and Cutwater Spirits. But Johnny, Ashton Jeanty, he's back. And massive news yesterday for Boise State.
Massive news. I mean, just fantastic news for someone who follows and someone who's enjoys supporting Boise State football. This was a statement, from everybody involved, whether JD, the boosters, everybody who got together and made this happen. They made a statement to the new world of college football that in keeping Ashton Jeanty, Boise State made a statement, BJ, we can play with the big boys, right? Like Jeremiah Dickey said, we can operate as a Power 5 program. BJ, this was a P5 move, right? Keeping maybe the most marketable running back on the would-be transfer portal market had Jeanty pursued that, right? They kept him. I mean, they made this move. They said, look, we can do this. Now, Boise State and most, BJ, you can't do this with many more than one players, but that's fine. Most schools can't, I mean, this move to me also told me, okay, if Boise State made this happen, what's to think that they can't make more things like this happen or things of that magnitude happen, right? Why can't they 2, 5, 7 years down the road convince another kid to say, no, I'm going to stay here too. Whatever it is Boise State does, it works to the level that one of the best players in the country wants to stay and be a part of it. Yeah, grease him up a little bit, give him a place to live, give him a nice pad, right? Give him a pool table, give him some place like this where the buddies can come and hang out. Give him a nice whip, nice ride, nice car, nice wheels, nice set, and a few $100,000 and you can do this. So massive statement, I thought, for Boise State and keeping Ashton Jeanty.
I thought, I don't know if stunning is too strong of a word, Johnny, but I don't think very many people saw this coming. I mean, the last couple of weeks we talked to him. I asked him straight up, like, fans think you're leaving. And he said, like, whatever happens. But I just got the sense he had one foot out the door already, man. I mean, he had, had to be high 6-figure offers from pretty much any school in the country that would have wanted Ashton Jeanty. And Mike Prater reported on Idaho Sports Talk yesterday, $300,000 a upgraded vehicle, and then a residence, as you said, was the package he put together. I talked to Spencer Danielson. We'll play that interview here in a little bit, but Spencer Danielson basically said, when I say it takes all of us, it takes all of us, and he gave a lot of credit to the collective and Joe Nickel and this community, because it took a lot of boosters. This wasn't one booster stepping up and saying, here's $300K. Exactly. They had to pool some things together, and it was a lot of people, that the Travis Hawks of the world, that stepped up and made this thing happen. So we'll see if more of the names come out. I think you need to go support those businesses and things moving forward. But huge day for Boise State, and I was pretty surprised, man. I didn't think this was going to happen. And again, he could have got more, but again, you're only staying one more year. I think we all in one of those unique situations where it's only his third year of college, but I don't think too many of us are expecting him to play 4 years.
It would be an unfortunate situation for him, meaning in a sense he missed time due to injury or something and had to come back, right? Yep. But yeah, this is the plan. It's just a 12-month thing.
And maybe he even comes out and says that, and it's great. But I guess the positives for him of staying, he knows he's going to be RB1. He's going to get a lot of action next year. He gets a chance. He knows the offense. He knows the city. It's 1 year. He knows he's the guy. You go to Georgia or Florida or somewhere, you don't exactly know the situation, how they're going to use you. Yes, you get some extra money, but, he's wanting to get paid in a year from now anyway. So you get $300K to tie you over for the next year. And I know we're joking about the Heisman campaign and all this stuff. Is this a first-round running back? Is this a second-round running back? If he goes out and rushes for 1,500 yards next year, what is the ceiling for Ashton Jeanty in terms of his draft stock?
I was thinking about that, just comparatively speaking, thinking about Ashton Jeanty with the other terrific Boise State running backs I've seen. It's such an interesting position on the blue because they've had some of the best, BJ, in college football in the last 20, 25 years. And, first rounder, they had Doug Martin was a first rounder, went to 2 Pro Bowls, had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. Like Jay Ajayi slipped in the draft, but what he did in college, and I look at Jeanty and I'm thinking, okay, next year, if it's smooth sailing, and most of the time it isn't, right? But if he's healthy, the offense is rolling, the team is winning, could there be a group of 5 Heisman candidate? If so, it's probably going to be him. Say he runs for, I don't know, let's say a typical Jeanty game, because I don't want to say yards because he gets receiving yards too, right? Let's say against Oregon State early in September, Jeanty rips off like 235 scrimmage yards, 3 teeters, and like one classic Jeanty highlight reel play where you get a leap, you get a stiff arm, you get a shake, you get a truck. Like Jeanty has all the tools. Sometimes he'll use multiple tools on one play, and you're like, oh, Jeanty. If he does that early on, maybe the buzz can continue. As far as like preseason stuff, I don't think anybody's going to pay much attention to that. But yeah, maybe there's a Heisman campaign. But man, Boise State fans, just watching this kid, I know we've talked about this off the air. He's just a pleasure to watch. He's just that darn good at football. Chris Peterson had a funny line about that in the Fox game. But yeah, I think BJ, sky's the limit. First round, it's tough at that position, but day 2, round 3, I mean, sure, or go into the NFL and kind of do what he's doing here in college to an NFL extent level and be one of the top backs in that league. I think sky's the limit.
So what does this do for the rest of the roster? If you're a guy thinking about staying, thinking about going, not sure, and you see your star tailback, Ashton Jeanty, say I'm sticking around, and I know there was money involved and all that kind of stuff, but just to see the commitment now that Ashton Jeanty is making to Spencer Danielson into this team, I would assume that makes a lot of other guys that may have considered leaving wanting to stick around.
It feels that way. I mean, Boise State just doesn't have a high level of players leaving in the portal, right? So, I mean, again, whatever it is they're doing down there, they or the kids that they are bringing in, I mean, a lot of kids show up with these values, right? A lot of kids don't, and they get incorporated and they assimilate, and that's how the football culture works, right? But Boise State, whatever they're doing is convincing most kids that this is where I want to stay. I want this experience. I want this family, and I would imagine Jeanty would consider, that's his pros and his cons. I mean, 5-6 years from now, 3 years from now, Ashton Jeanty's raising blue chaos, the flag, as he's back in town from his bye week, right? He's not raising the red bulldog flag in Georgia, okay? I mean, unless he maybe wins a Heisman or something, but he's there for 1 year. You get what I'm saying? Like, yep. He gets to be a part of this forever, regardless of how his NFL career works out, regardless of how the rest of his college career works out. The love Ashton Jeanty has shown this fan base, I mean, it will, in my opinion, never be forgotten. Ashton Jeanty, that kid, he's in a pantheon of elite level athletes in this town. He's bulletproof, so to speak. BJ, I was thinking about this. Is he the highest paid athlete for one season in Idaho history?
No, I don't think the Steelheads athletes are making $300K.
Minor league baseball, yeah. No.
Maybe one of those guys, maybe Chris Bryant or somebody came in here to play for the Cubs on a signing bonus. I mean, he
okay.
Was, maybe
I was
guess.
Thinking about that last night. Like he's making $300,000. Well, what other Idaho athlete has ever made that? Like Peekaboo Street in endorsements. Like, am I going down that rabbit hole? Like, I don't know. Maybe people can comment on that.
Hillary Knight, maybe getting something.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, she's on the women's Olympic hockey team from Sun Valley area.
But yeah, like, I mean, he's up there in that too. Yeah. Like, who's getting paid to play more money to play sports in the history of this state than Jeanty will next year. He's
also flipped the table now, where you now have an athlete making more than some of the coaches.
He's making more than Camo.
Ashton
Jeanty is making more than his position coach.
Ashton Jeanty is now making more than his position coach. And maybe that's the way it should be.
Every NFL room is like that. Talk to Sanford, who's not obviously an NFL coach, but he knows that dynamic. I've talked to him about that before, too. In the NFL, no. All the players are making more than the coaches. It works.
Yeah.
So it'll figure out a way to work here. And luckily for Jeanty, he's the type of kid that I would have all the confidence in the world that he's not showing up to the building today with $37,000 in bling and all this stuff. Don't talk to me. Hey, I'll be in my office, open door policy. Jeanty's not going to turn into anything like that, in my opinion. He's still going to be grounded, humble, and a very popular player on his team. And yeah, I would have no worries. Like, if you're going to give this deal to somebody, to some kid, you're probably not worried about giving it to Ashton Jeanty, right? I mean, I don't know who the big partiers are historically in this program. I'm sure a lot of people do, but you're not giving a big, nice place to live to somebody where you're like, is this going to backfire?
We heard some of the stories with Winston Venable on BNN After Dark.
What street was that?
Hale Street.
Like
the Hale Street house.
And the Hale Street house was in a really nice neighborhood or a wonderful downtown, like condo or something. Like, you might have some reservations. I wouldn't have any with Ashton Jeanty. All accounts, he's a really good person.
Let's spin this forward with Taylen Green and the rest of this roster here and this coaching staff. But we need to take a quick 90-second timeout. Again, we're live at Cutwater Studios here at Stein Distributing. Does Taylen Green come back? Do you even want him back at this point? Get your comments in the chat. We're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, back here live. This might be one of our coolest, uniquest setups for a live show, Johnny. We've been with Travis Hawks out of Capitol 11 building. We've been at the Blue and Orange store. We've been at some other cool spots.
Top Golf?
Yeah, we were at Top Golf for a broadcast. Lithia Ford of Boise had us out, Jay Test and I, for a show. But pretty sweet spot here. And again, the Espresso Martinis, the Peppermint White Russians, the new seasonal flavors there. Make sure you check them out. We had some folks in here saying the Mango Margarita. We'll get to some of the favorite flavors here as well. But a lot of talk about Taylen Green and whether or not you even want him back at this point, Johnny, whether or not there's any chance he comes back. You're going to hear in our interview with Spencer Danielson coming up in a little bit. He says the door is not closed yet on Taylen Green possibly coming back. You have a bowl game that you obviously would love to win, Johnny, to propel yourself into the offseason, a 9th win, some momentum for Spencer Danielson, UCLA at SoFi Stadium on ABC.
Yeah.
It's going to get monster ratings. It's kind of the first big early season bowl game on TV here. Your thoughts on Taylen Green, and I guess any chance, even if he hasn't decided yet, do you let him practice this week and play next week and play in the bowl game? You need to have 100% commitment from him before that happens. Do you even want him back now that he's flirting with the portal? Just your thoughts on Taylen Green.
You know, I wonder if Taylen is thinking, dang it, or maybe I don't know where the timing was on this, BJ, but you play December 16th. That's opening day on the bowl season. Taylen Green didn't have to jump in the portal like a lot of players do during this season because the bowl game is later and they need to get out and they need to start that process. I'm just doing my own timeline. It feels like TG10 could have stayed. He could have played in this bowl game. Maybe he got MVP like he did in the Mountain West Championship. And then on Monday morning, Boise State, love ya. It's been real. You're welcome for the rings. You know, I'm going to go do my own thing. And people would have wished him well, and they probably still are wishing him well. But BJ, from a timeline perspective, he could have still found a team to play in after December 16th. I don't think we're going to hear where Taylen Green is before this bowl game on December 16th.
Unless somebody had already reached out and he already had he's going through the process, but he has a deal already set up.
And they said this is contingent upon you leaving immediately.
Yeah, wait a couple days so it doesn't look obvious and then commit to us, that kind of thing.
Yeah, another coach is saying, no, this offer's not on the table if you go play in a bowl game. If that's what coaches are telling kids now. I don't know, but that would be unfortunate. Other than that, if he wants to come back, yeah, I think it's up to the process. Whatever Boise State has internally in this situation, like, a player wants to come back, they probably have their senior council of players and coaches. And if they would accept Taylen Green back, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't know if Taylen Green, part of the reason he doesn't want to come back next year is I don't think he wants to mess around with like TG10 and the Mad Dog again. Sounds like a cheesy 80s movie, like Tango and Cash, TG10 and the Mad Dog. Like he doesn't want to even flirt with that. I don't think Taylen Green doesn't want to be in that situation again. He was embarrassed. He got his way out of it. Obviously, due to a Mad Dog injury, and now he's playing better than he's played all year. Good for him. And now we're going to see what his market is in the transfer portal. I don't imagine he would come back. I don't know why he would. You're not going to come back, play the bowl game, and then bolt again. If you come back, you're committing to Spencer Danielson. Maybe he will. Maybe now he's saying, what's it going to, what's in it for me? If you're giving Jeanty this, what would the Taylen Green package look like? Who knows?
I assume he did think that his spot might be taken up if he waited 2 more weeks, wherever he wanted to go.
Okay.
But you're right, because you could easily – the transfer portal doesn't close till like sometime in January.
Right, and
so
maybe even he can boost himself if he goes and wins MVP of the LA Bowl hosted by Gronk, right?
Or risk. I guess he maybe risks he gets hurt. I don't know.
Then he comes back to Boise State.
Yeah. Hope we keep TG. Don't blame him at this point after the way he was treated. Yeah, I don't even know if it's the money, Johnny. Sure, he'd like to get a little more NIL money out of this, but I think he just wants to play. I mean, the whole, song and dance where they started him and then he played one play and got swapped out. I mean, there was just some stuff that I don't think he could ignore, and I don't think you can really blame him.
Yep, I'm totally okay with that too, and look forward to see what Taylen Green does moving forward. I will be watching those games wherever he goes. I will have a high level interest in seeing if he can get developed and all of a sudden like his athleticism can meet more of the development, because as everybody knows, sky's the limit. I mean, we were talking to Sanford, about this earlier, maybe on Ball Talk too. And Sanford was saying, God, I would love to have a TG10 in my quarterback room.
Yeah.
Just that prospect. And if you can, get this thing and teach him and communicate in TG10 and everything works. And it's tough, man. I mean, for a lot of players, not just the gifted athletes like Taylen Green, like playing quarterback at that level is almost, it's a monumental task physically, emotionally, intellectually. I mean, it's a tough gig. And I look forward to see if Taylen Green can find that somewhere because, just the teeter he had in the Mountain West Championship game, just the weaving and you're just like, dude.
That's what makes you put up with the pick six and some of that stuff. Because you see what he can do running the
BJ,
football.
like there's 5 quarterbacks in America who can make that run. And then you throw the 2 he had last year. And I know it was few and far between. I thought there was going to be a lot of those runs this year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he wasn't out there enough. I don't know. But just when he does that, you just shake your head and you're like, wow, that's almost as good as any run Jeanty's had this year. Those 2 guys, they load up that highlight reel, man. Spectacular athletes.
I'd love to see him come back. I've said it. I'm a TG10 guy. If there was a way to keep him happy and bring him back, but I don't want to see him and Maddox Madsen splitting time next year.
Right?
I want them to pick a quarterback next year and stick with it. And if that's not Taylen Green, then he needs to obviously go somewhere else. Robbie Robinson says, so far my favorite's the mango margarita. We got Karen saying the peppermint white Russian, also a fan of the Ghost energy drinks. Greg was on the bus trip. He said the Cutwaters helped pass the time on the bus trip. So again, we appreciate that. And if you have, Bronco says after a long night of vodka mules, do you start the morning with a peppermint white Russian? Sure, why not? So get your favorite Cutwater flavors in. We'll pick somebody at the end of the show to give them a free some Cutwaters to take and have.
You're giving away some of
we
this?
We are. We have some left over from the bus trip, surprisingly, and because they gave us a ton, and we appreciate that.
Awesome.
And so we're going to give a few away. Again, let us know your favorite Cutwater flavor, and we'll get to that. But let's talk a little basketball here, Johnny. Last night, Extra Mile Arena, we were both sitting there kind of in disbelief for a good chunk of that game. We look up with a couple minutes left, and they're down 6 points, man. Like, I think we kind of thought they'd find a way to win the game, but then all of a sudden there's 2 minutes to go and they're down 6 points, and you're thinking, this ain't good, man. Like, they might actually lose this game. And, North Texas is a quality team. I get it. But
it wouldn't have mattered.
No, that's a game you cannot lose at home.
No one was going to excuse your Ken Palm rankings. They weren't. If you lost to North Texas, it's a bad loss at home. And the fans, and I would have been with them, like, what the hell is going on out here? That wasn't the case. What you were saying, too, like, in that situation, not only did they come back and win, BJ, they end up covering the spread.
Four and a half.
I heard your post game, like the Ken Palm ranking or whatever had them winning by 3, and they won by 5. So they actually outdid even their computer projections. Like, on paper, that looks like a great win. If you stayed awake for it, right? Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for the football team, I don't know if I would have made it. They put us to sleep last night. I know they got the win, and it was a fantastic atmosphere, I thought, for the last few minutes. And this community, you're like, no, we will not go quietly tonight. We just got Jeanty back today. Everything's going well with our football team. Spencer Danielson spoke at halftime. We're not losing this game. And it's like the basketball team had that emotion from Taco Bell, or did I just say that, from Extra Mile Arena? And and
they're one of our sponsors. That's okay.
I love Taco Bell. Yeah, you know that. And then from there, though, BJ, they were able to get the job done, win the game on that 11-0 run. But yeah, for a while there, BJ, we're sitting next to each other, looking like, dude, they're not playing well, and they're putting us to sleep. And that was a scary situation. Season saver. I don't know if I buy into all that, but they just got to keep winning, like Max was saying last night, and I think they will.
20 turnovers, though. They got to get the point guard situation figured out. Roddy Anderson had 6 turnovers himself. They just have, Jace Whiting. I'm not sure why he didn't play as much. I know maybe maybe his defense might be his defense. I'm not sure.
The second half, we didn't see hardly any Whiting, but okay.
But the 20 turnovers as a team. Mentioned the point guard play has not been great so far. To this point, I don't think it's going out that far to say Roddy Anderson's been a disappointment from what we thought he would be. Did have that nice corner 3, but just really couldn't get going. As I said, he had 6 turnovers himself. They also got killed on the glass, gave up 15 offensive rebounds to North Texas. So, I mean, there were definitely some negative things we saw, but as Leon said, it's much better to be able to correct those after you win than to correct those after you lose. Yeah. But Max Rice, man, he's your guy. We give you crap for it, but obviously, he's a guy that has done a lot of great things. We remember the San Diego State game last year, the 30-plus points and all the things he's done. But it's been a pretty slow start to the season for him, and we expect him to break out of it. But each game, the slump's going longer and longer. I have, full confidence that Max Rice is going to get it going. But again, 1 for 8 from the field again. Just where are you right now with Max?
Yeah, it's just kind of what Max said last night in the presser too. I mean, he's obviously well aware. Max Rice knows every stat in America. If you follow the press conference, he knows this team's strength of schedule. He knows the Mountain West team's strength of schedules. He pays attention. I mean, he's going to do basketball, Max will, for the next 40 years of his life. He's going to be involved with this. He knows the ball's not going in. I don't think he's pressing the panic button yet. If it comes time where Max has to press the panic button, I think he will. I don't think that's going to happen as well. I think he's 3 for 5, 4 for 6, 3 for 7 night away from kind of getting this slump out of sight a little bit, BJ. Tyson Degenhardt too, 1 for 5 from downtown. I put him in that mix as well. Both those two guys need to be elite level shooters for this team to go where it wants to go. They're not at this point, and I would hope that would switch. Luckily, though, for the team last night, 41% from downtown. Yeah, that's a winning percentage.
Yeah,
it is.
9 threes, 9 for 22.
If you're shooting 40% as a team, the way Leon plays defense and the way they typically hit the glass and not turn the ball over, that's a winning recipe. But yeah, hell yeah. I mean, if Max keeps shooting like this, I don't think he will. But yeah, it'll turn into a massive story, and that will be an interesting situation. I don't think we'll get to, because I've seen the kid. You've seen the kid. He's a terrific shooter of the basketball. He didn't just all of a sudden wake up and not be good at it anymore, or maybe something's in his head. I would not buy that either. So, yeah, I think he'll turn it around.
And the next 3 games are against, definitely subpar competition. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to break out here.
I will say this, though, real quick. It is. But I think the bigger problem is the point guard.
Yep.
You don't have a veteran point guard on this team, period. You just don't have a vet.
You even said to me last night during the game, any chance they talk about Chris Lockett pulling the red shirt?
Right. But that wouldn't add a veteran presence, right? Yeah. Because Jace Whiting, albeit he's older, he's a true sophomore, correct?
Yep.
Roddy Anderson is a true sophomore, correct? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have that vet point guard. That's the biggest issue with this team. You really realize the value of a fifth-year guy last year in Shaver, where you had that glue there and that comfort level and just the wherewithal. Shaver was just an excellent college player. And yeah, it's tough to replace those guys every year, but they're working, they're fighting. I like watching this team, but is it as good as I thought it would be at this point? My personal opinion, no, man. I thought they would maybe not as much as record, but I thought they would just look better. Like last night, they didn't know what the hell they were doing until they did, and they were able to win and dodge a major bullet of disaster had they lost to the Mean Green. And I know their Ken Palms are terrific, and their strength of schedule is tip top, and they did win the NIT last year.
They lost their coach. They lost some of their best players.
It's a different team.
It is.
That I don't think that would have been an excusable loss, man.
No, not at all. One positive, though, Chibuzo Abo looks like an absolute first-team All-Mountain West type
Hell
player.
yeah. I think he needs to do more ball handling, play more of a guard, like an NBA two-guard role, because I think he has the ability to do it, and I think he would be a matchup nightmare. I mean, you have to put almost a big on him, how physical he is, and he has guard skills, and he's a guard level shooter. Right now, he's the best shooter on this team. I think if this continues, I think Buzo might be in the league player of the year conversation as they're going right now. He's been absolutely terrific, and I think his versatility will come in handy because I just think they need better guard play and ball movement and the ability to attack. And Buzo has all those abilities, BJ, as you know.
It was, again, they're 5-3. You got 3 winnable games here, Johnny. Then you have the last, I think, really hard non-conference game against Wazoo coming up in a couple of weeks. But if you can go up there and win that game, all of a sudden they could have a 10-3 non-con going into conference play. Which again, you would have liked
under par for the course though.
I think 10-3 is with the schedule they've played. If you're 10-3, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Lose five league games plus a game in the conference tournament. That's 6 more losses. You would finish the season with 9 losses. Last year,
your computer numbers will be great. Probably
last year you got into the tournament with 9 losses.
Yeah,
I think they lost 10 games last year. Northwestern would have been the 10th.
I think 9-4 is acceptable, but I think you'd love to win out in the non-con, be 10-3.
Sure.
But Johnny, Idaho Sports Talk today, man. I know you guys are going to have a lot to talk about. 3 to 6, Johnny and Mike Prater. You can hear him, JP, the whole crew. Looking forward to them. We still have a lot to get to here. We're going to take another quick timeout. We're going to hear from Spencer Danielson coming up as well. Don't go anywhere. I had a chance to get a 5-minute exclusive interview with Spencer Danielson. A lot still to get to. Again, we're live at Stein Distributing, Cutwater Studios, literally on the road. We're hanging out in a bar, talking sports. We're having fun. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylen Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, we kicked Johnny out of the studio for a couple minutes here. We got Courtney Stein Ditto, the VP of Business Development, VP of Public Relations, stopping by to tell us about Cutwater and Stein. And first of all, thank you for having us out here. This has been a fun morning. You guys even brought breakfast. We're very appreciative, and thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We always enjoy having an opportunity to bring you out and spend some time with you, BJ.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun. You even had breakfast, as we said, and this area, you got the all kinds of games and things. I mean, you literally have a bar in your office. It's not many people can say that. You guys like to have a lot of fun around here.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to concentrate, right?
Yeah.
We also have a giant Jenga set, and every once in a while somebody moves a piece on it, and then
Johnny's over there. Yeah, Johnny's probably over there right now. So if we hear it fall down, that's going to be on Johnny. But we are so thankful and appreciative that you guys are sponsoring our studios, and we're very thankful for that, the agreement that we have. So really appreciate that, and I've really loved getting to know you and the team here and Cutwater Spirits. And I was one of those people that, not going to lie, had before we started talking, really hadn't had much Cutwaters, and you see it in the local gas station right there, and it was always 2 for $7 or whatever, great deal, but just was never my thing. I'd go for the quick, easy Mick Ultra or something. But once we got the deal done, it wasn't lip service. Started having them, and well, I mean, it's I just love how it's pre-mixed, pre-made, ready to go. And when you're at a tailgating party or something, and you want something a little unique with premium cocktail, I love the concept, and it's a great product. Tell us about Cutwater.
Well, Cutwater comes out of San Diego, and they make all of their own spirits. And it's all spirit-based, and it's all gluten-free, except for they have a whiskey one.
Okay.
So this is our peppermint, which is our peppermint white Russian. It's great around the holiday season. Maybe even put a little bit in your coffee.
There you go.
Around Christmas when you're needing a little help with all the family around, right?
Yes.
And the espresso martini is a brand new flavor. It's been really popular and is very tasty. And I think this spring you'll see a lemon drop coming out.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, my wife loves the peppermint white Russian. Last time we were here, you gave us some of those to try, and yeah, the margaritas are great. The Mai Tais, I'm a big Long Island iced tea guy as well, and they these are both 13%, so they hit you as well. You don't need a ton of them, but they're great. And I know Stein Distributing, you guys been 1956. You were telling me before we started, family owned. Local company, started with your parents, correct? And it's just been it's been a cool, in the community, a cool, staple here. It's been here a long time, and you guys are still going strong 70 plus years later.
Right. Yeah. My dad started distributing beer out of a railroad car downtown Boise.
Wow.
When the rail line still came through about the Opera, Idaho-ish area. And it's just has built ever since. And we became an Anheuser-Busch distributor in 1966.
Okay. Yeah, and I love it. Like I said, you got the Clydesdale hitch right up there. I'm born and raised, as I said, in Missouri, the home of Anheuser-Busch, and I still take pride when I see the commercials that say St. Louis, Missouri at the end of them, and that's kind of just a corny thing that makes me think of my hometown. And anytime people come to St. Louis, we had to give them the brewery tour, and I mean, even like the day of my wedding, a lot of the people that came in town went and did the brewery tour there in St. Louis. So I love that the AB connection is here as well. You guys are the distributor here in the Treasure Valley, but a ton of other things that you guys have and brands, and pretty much anything we see in a local gas station or grocery store probably comes from you guys. But just your relationship with Boise State too. You guys are obviously have partners with them, and folks are having your products down there at football and basketball games as well.
Right. Yeah, it's really important to us to partner with the community and be involved. We love Boise State. I always say that I bleed blue. Part of the tradition for me is always going to the football games, and the Keith and Catherine Stein Blue Thunder Marching Band is my dad resurrected that band in 1986. So to say that our roots run deep in this community is definitely a true thing. Well,
again, we really appreciate your sponsorship with Bronco Nation News. It's been a great partner for us. We hope that it can continue, and we're very appreciative you guys having us out. And now that we've been out here and see how nice you guys are treating us. I mean, you guys went all out here. Daniel was stocking the fridge. I mean, you guys went all out for the backdrop here. This is probably one of the better backdrops that we've had. So seriously, thank you so much for coming out. And again, local gas station, grocery store, you can pick up Cutwaters, 4-pack, very affordable. You got, I think I counted, I say more than 30 flavors, but I think it's approaching 40 now. I mean, you guys just continue. You mentioned the lemon drop, continue to add flavors, and it's a pretty cool concept. And again, very appreciative of you guys for having us out today. And hopefully folks will check out Cutwater and give it a shot.
Absolutely. And come join us anytime, BJ. It's nice having you.
Yes, appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. The Jenga game, I have to check it out here pretty soon. But they got
Right.
all kinds of, this is an awesome spot. It really is. And so we're very appreciative of Stein Distributing, Cutwater Spirits. Go check them out. We're going to hear from Spencer Danielson coming up. Don't go anywhere. Exclusive interview, BNN and Spencer Danielson. We'll do that here in 90 seconds on Bronco Nation News. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylen Green, Ashton Jeanty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. PlayTimberstone.com. And back here at Stein Distributing, having a lot of fun here. We're in the Cutwater Studios. Again, literally the Cutwater Studios here at Stein Distributing, and we appreciate them again for having us out. The Peppermint White Russian, the Espresso Martini. A lot of great flavors. Again, your local gas station or grocery store, you can pick up. They got some deals, I think 2 for like $6.50 or $7. Great deals. You buy the 4-packs. And again, they have, I think, almost close to 40 flavors now. And that lemon drop, I see a couple of you commenting on that. Sounds like a good one to try as well. I think the Mai Tai, you can't go wrong with the Mai Tai and the Long Island. Those are both ones that I love. That the margaritas are great as well. And I have yet to have one that I don't like. And I've had some that I didn't think I'd like, and you have it and you do. So great recommendation if you're wanting an easy premium cocktail that you don't have to sit there in the bar and mix it up. Just pull it out of the fridge and you're good to go. Hey, I had the chance to catch up with Spencer Danielson last night, one-on-one. He talks Ashton Jeanty. He talks Taylen Green. Spencer Danielson, Boise State, now the new permanent football coach. He was out there at halftime of the game speaking to the crowd. Here's our one-on-one conversation. Spencer Danielson here on Bronco Nation News. All right, Spencer Danielson, man. A crazy couple of days for you. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm thriving right now. It's been awesome. There's obviously a lot of different stuff going on, but our players, this community, I can't wait for the future.
What has the last 48 hours been like for you?
So it's been a lot. Drinking out of a fire hose a little bit, but all good stuff. You go from press conference to meet with our players because that's the biggest thing for me right now is keeping our players here, keeping our staff here because we got a great group of players. We got a great staff, so that's what we've been working tirelessly to do.
We saw the news today with Ashton Jeanty. I know you kind of hinted at it at the press conference, but how huge is that for first 48 hours your head coach here to get a guy like that to stick around?
Oh, it's huge, BJ. I mean, at the end of the day, not only what Ashton does on the football field, everybody sees that. Phenomenal running back. He's a monster leader on our team, and he's a great teammate. I mean, you talk about a young man that comes to work every day, no matter what, practices his tail off. He deserves all the credit he's getting, so him being here to push this forward is a huge deal to us and can't wait for the future with him.
What does that say about the local community and the business owners and Joe Nickel and the collective and everybody for stepping up and make this happen?
When I say we're in this together, it takes everybody, especially for our young man like Ashton Jeanty and the rest of our players because that's the landscape of college football now, as we all know, BJ. So thank you, Bronco Nation. Thank you to our community because it took everybody to keep Ashton. And it's going to take everybody to keep the rest of our players.
Tell us about the situation at quarterback going into the bowl game. Obviously, don't know if you're expecting if there's any chance Taylen could still be a part of that, but 2 guys that don't have a ton of experience. What's the plan there and your confidence level in CJ and Colt?
Yeah. First off, think the world of Taylen. Talk about a young man that just won us a championship, works his tail off. And we're still in constant communication. Had a great talk with him, his dad. So the process isn't over yet with Taylen. But working into the bowl game, Colt Fulton, C.J. Tiller, we're still working through what that's going to look like exactly for the bowl game. I know Coach Hammond and the offensive staff are working on that. And you'll see both quarterbacks in that game, and we're working through that right now.
You mentioned this being your dream job. We saw the press conference and stuff, but just has it kind of set in yet? Has it hit you? I mean, have you been able to kind of pinch yourself and realize the position you're in now?
It is my dream job, BJ. And like I said, I mean, it's for the people. It's the community, our players, our staff. That's why this is my dream job. So I don't know if it's completely sunk in. I cry almost every day when I have these conversations. I'm going to try not to cry right now, BJ. But hopefully it's something that never truly sinks in, right? Because this is my dream job, and I'll never lose that feel and how I tirelessly work to help push this forward. First off, it's not about me, and that's the biggest part when people know this isn't the Spencer Danielson Broncos. This is the Boise State Broncos that I'm going to be a part of to help push forward with our staff, our players, media, Bronco Nation. We're all in this together.
You think about your path, man. Linebacker, Azusa Pacific. You start your coaching career there. You come to Boise State as a GA. Like you said, your wife wasn't even sure she wanted to come with you at that point. And 7 years later, at age 35, one of the youngest head coaches in college football right now. I mean, like I said, how do you kind of describe your football journey here?
Man, BJ, I'm so humbled. And, I mean, thank you, Jesus. And I give him all the glory. And I'm the product of a lot of amazing people building into me. I mean, that's what it is. I'm also going to be a guy that's going to be tirelessly calling others that have done a great job in front of me, from head coaches to people that have been in this seat. And I'm going to tirelessly work to be the best version of myself. That's the same thing I'm calling our staff and our players to do. So I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing in general is just always constantly trying to get better and grow. And I'm going to work my tail off to be the best version for these players, the staff, this community.
Two more things for you. What you mentioned your vision for this program and just what you want to see here moving forward. What I know you got to focus on this bowl game first, but kind of your to-do list here for the next couple of months. What is your vision? What do you want to get done here, and what is your plans for this program?
Yeah, to-do list first off, BJ, like we said, is keep our players here. We had the 4th youngest team in the nation. Just won a Mountain West championship, brought it back to Boise. We need to keep our players here. That doesn't mean we're going to keep all of them. That's operation number one. Then keeping our staff here. Like, we got a great staff, and with a great staff, with winning championship comes job opportunities for these men, and they deserve them. But keeping them here, keeping our players here is operation number one. And then obviously as we come back in January, starting from scratch and looking at everything holistically, from schedules to practice, and then obviously getting our players back on the field, training. And when people watch Boise State football, like they've seen the past couple weeks, is you're going to see a group that plays fast, plays smart, plays together, and they love each other. It's going to look different. You're going to play your tail off because you love your brother next to you, you love your coaches, and more than importantly, you love this community. And that's not easy. That's not common. It takes a lot of work. And we're going to work our tails off to get it done.
Final thing quickly, they're giving me the wrap here. Just see if UCLA, the matchup, just what would a win next Saturday do for you guys to kind of propel you into the offseason here?
No, winning the last game of the season is a huge part of it. Our goal every year is to win the Mountain West Conference championship and a bowl game. We did one part of that, but we're not finished yet. And playing against a UCLA opponent that's going to be extremely well coached with Coach Kelly and his staff and a very talented roster. So we know our hands are going to be full. We're going to be working our tails off to get ready for it. Especially where the game is at, the LA Bowl. We recruit Southern California a ton. It's a place that we cannot wait to play, an opponent that we're very excited to play, and we know they're going to be ready for us.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Seriously, congrats, and looking forward to working with you. Continue to work with you, I guess, and excited, man. Congrats.
No, I appreciate you a ton, BJ, and Bronco Nation. Thank you again. Love you guys.
There he is, Spencer Danielson. We appreciate him for the time last night. And, again, we will get that up on the YouTube channel for anybody that came in late. I am going to check out some of these tacos that they brought for breakfast. Daniel's hopefully will leave me a couple left back there. But I forgot to mention the nice vest here, Cutwater Spirits vest. I'm going to wear this a lot. So we appreciate Courtney and everybody for helping us out. And there was a comment on here that I saw about thanks to your parents for the support of the Blue Thunder. And, yeah, the Keith and Catherine Stein Blue Thunder marching band. They're big sponsors there. If you ever go to the football game tailgate, you see the big all the setup that they have there right in front of the Varsity Center. And they're obviously big supporters of Boise State. And again, they have a lot of the products at the basketball games you can go have. Are from Stein Distributing here. So super appreciative for everybody for having us out. it's been a crazy couple of days. The football game on Saturday, and then the news about Spencer Danielson, the news about Taylen Green, the news about Ashton Jeanty. Who knows what's going to come today? Is Taylen Green going to change his mind and stick around? Are we going to get some coaching staff news today? You never know what's coming when you're talking about Boise State news. This has been a crazy couple of days, and hopefully not for a couple hours, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Ask Taylen Green for an interview. Someone is saying, yeah, we will see what we can do there once he makes a decision. I don't know right now what that would do or if he even wants to talk at this point. But there was some conflicting stuff in there from, Spencer Danielson. Bush Hamden went on KTIK radio yesterday, took a small shot at me and it was all in good fun, I believe, for saying they wanted the backup quarterbacks to play to get some reps, so this wouldn't happen, because I do think now you're stuck with Colt Fulton or CJ Tiller, and stuck with is not the right word, but you'd rather have Taylen Green in this game if possible, and they didn't get much reps for those guys during the season. CJ Tiller, very little at all, and so now you're going to have potentially a guy that's played 4 or 5 snaps on the season come in there and start the biggest game of the season here, the bowl game. And so we'll see what happens there. But, Bush Hamden said they're going to pick one guy and go with him. And then you heard Spencer Danielson say both quarterbacks are going to play. So we'll have to see moving forward here what they decide to do from that standpoint. But, again, super appreciative and thankful for everybody here at Cutwater. Courtney and Daniel and the whole crew. We had a lot of fun, and I appreciate all you guys for watching us. Again, go support the sponsors. We can't continue to do shows like this and continue to travel to the bowl game and travel to the championship game if our sponsors aren't happy. So we got to get out there and get some Cutwaters and try some of these new flavors and tell your friends and help support the sponsors so we can keep this thing rolling. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out, and that'll wrap it up. Again, we'll have full coverage, full content coming all day. I'm sure something will happen Boise State related, and hopefully Bronco Nation News is the first place that you check it out. So from the Cutwater Studios here at Stein Distributing, again, appreciate everybody for checking us out. Go subscribe on YouTube. We've added like 600 YouTube subscribers in the last 28 days. The channel is starting to blow up, and we're very appreciative. Had great viewership again today. So thank you guys as we continue to build this thing. It's crazy. We're just barely 2 years into this thing, and we're so far ahead of where I thought it could be, but still just scratching the surface on what Bronco Nation News can become. And it's thanks to great partners like Cutwater Spirits and Stein Distributing that we're making this leap forward. So have a great rest of your day. And again, any news breaks, we'll have it at bronconationnews.com. Otherwise, Mike Prater and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll see what else is going on as we get you set. Again, a basketball game on Saturday. I think they'll have some football practices, some availability this weekend. And as always, bronconationnews.com will have you covered. So again, BJ Rains here signing off from Stein Distributing. Go get a Cutwater, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation News.